I need to turn my phone off, honestly.
What's up, guys? Yeah,
Um,
mine's on Do Not Disturb.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just need to turn it off. We still need to figure out an intro at some point. like,
Hmm
um, it's like, something along the lines of like, I'm the mister, and then you're like, I'm the sister, and we are like Trav and I don't know. Travis and Lacey just doesn't flow to me.
We,
So
we could
like,
just say we're the Mister and the Sister podcast, like, or
yeah,
this
I
is,
know.
yeah, but I don't know, like,
We'll figure it out. You guys will see us evolve over time.
I want to show the camera what's going on, but I can't.
I mean, you
Like,
can if you want.
oh, it's already stopped. The cats were
It's
fighting right
already
there.
stopped.
They're gonna fight again soon.
Cats are crazy. Like, I don't know. Pep and
Um,
Sure today going at it, and just me and Ashley have no patience for it. I'm just like, stop doing that. Like, anybody that has a dog and another animal that the dog, it's not necessarily like the dog doesn't like him, and just like, he doesn't want him to spend time with us at all. And
yeah,
so she wants the huge couch to herself, and I'm like, literally, Sure is over there, you're over here, like, please just coexist. And like, I don't know, and I'm whatever. But yeah, that's been my day. Just being a little bit. If you guys hear me, kind of, I have allergies, and I don't know. I feel a little like whatever sinusy today. So it may just be like I feel like sometimes when I'm tired, I get more like allergy problems. Like the more sensitive, there's probably science to that. But the more tired I am, the more like my body is like whatever you want to call it, like low immune system for the day or something. I don't know. It's weird.
hmm
You were just sick
um,
recently, weren't you?
yeah. So I was gonna bounce off what
Hello, Angel.
I was gonna bounce off what you said about the cats. I was sitting on the couch eating some Pringles, and I think it was yesterday. And Ollie was sitting on the floor, minding his own business, just in the middle of the floor. Anywhere it's like he's walking to a destination. He gets tired, he just plops down. That's how Ollie is. Um, and Angel, my smallest cat. Oh, now Angel, or
That
anyway,
you
sorry,
just saw.
Bird, um, was going like towards Ollie, and Ollie was like giving her the side eye. So Angel jumps up on all fours, like leaps over Ollie and onto him. I mean, like at least up past my waist. Leaps up in the air, just pounces up. I don't know how she does it. Um,
I don't know. Cats are weird.
it's like little springs. But yes,
Sure,
I
with
was.
as fat as he is, can somehow jump really far. Because, like,
Yeah,
that space between the counter and the couch. I mean, I know it's because it's up high and he can leap downward. But he has surprised me sometimes how high he can jump, even though, my God, he's he's just a sack of
yeah,
potatoes. Like, he's so freaking heavy. Like, I don't know. But,
yeah. I was sick. I've been sick all week. I'm like 95% sure I had strep. Like I had the whole throat thing, like everything. I was running high fever. I was out for a couple days. Yeah, I wasn't feeling the best. Everybody in our sorry, I'm yawning. Um,
I didn't know what state you were going to be in, which, like,
yeah.
just for context on this, like, I asked Lacey a few days ago while I was at work, I'm like, do you want to put, because we're officially pretty much set in stone on recording on Wednesdays, and which is nice
hmm
because it's like middle of the week, whatever, and like, but we just always want to find that day that's like okay, record no matter what, unless something comes up, so we could just stay consistent because we want this pod to be consistent, and like you were sick, you had less of a voice, and you were just like I don't know, and then like I didn't know how I was gonna be today because like I kind of had trouble going to sleep at first, but I did. It's like it's funny
Tell
because
me about it.
I turned the TV back on and then I got sleepy. It immediately helps me. It's weird. Like as soon as I could just focus on something and like think about that thing I'm watching, it's like my brain just like. But it's because I guess I was just thinking too much and I couldn't go to sleep and then I just. But anyway, Like, but I asked Lacey, and she was like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'll see if my voice is back to normal. And then I just started texting her on Snapchat, and then she just said yes, because she knew exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But I was typing, like, are you good to pod today? And I was like, but I just woke up, and like, before I could even type it, yes. And I'm like, sweet. All right. Like, let's
Yeah.
do this.
I don't know if y'all heard that, but she just knocked something over in the kitchen. But
Cats. Cats.
yeah.
But,
Um, yeah, so I had the hopes of, I'm going to yawn most of this podcast.
it's fine. I mean,
I had the hopes of fixing my sleep schedule. So, silly me, I do this every time I try to fix my sleep schedule. I'm like, I'm just going to stay awake. I'm not tired. I'm just going to stay awake.
I
And
mean, it's the
context,
easiest way to do it.
yeah, I normally go to bed about 2 to 3 a.m. I went to bed at 8:30 a.m. and then woke up at 11 a.m. and I am tired. And like we had a family come over day. We have Kevin's grandpa come over. Kevin's grandpa's a truck driver, and there's like a semi parking spot right down the road that he has to stay the night in or whatever. Um, so he came and like saw our new house and all that kind of stuff. So that was good, and that like kept me awake. I'm like, okay, well, I told him that I was making dinner for them, so like I have to stay awake to do that. I can't just sleep the whole time we have company over. So that kind of like forced me to stay awake, and now I'm tired. But like I don't want to go to bed so early and wake up so early. Like I want to get on a good like 11 to 8 or 9 sleep schedule, just not waking up at noon.
Yeah.
That's just yeah. But
I think
yeah,
it's easier to just stay awake and try to force, like, let your body fully, because it's like when you stay up, because I've had to do this before, you stay awake, it's like your body sort of, like, you don't have any doubt you're going to go to sleep when you finally do.
mhm,
So there's like no excuses. Like, it's just like, oh, this is because that's, you force your body to stay awake, and then, like, because I've had to do that before where I'm still awake until like, past noon or whatever, and then I just, and sometimes, like, and I've seen people on YouTube give this tip that's actually works really well, which is the opposite of what I'm saying now. But like, oh, get up and then just force yourself to stay up. Well, sometimes you get up and then you get tired again because you
uh-huh,
moved your body a little bit, and like your brain associates your bed with bedtime instead of like
mhm,
laying awake and it being like an awake time. So it's like as soon
mhm,
as you associate your body with like, oh, if I go in here, I'm awake, then it gets tired again, which is dangerous because then you're trying to pull that all nighter and it's like, oh god. But like then just whatever. But if you officially make that choice to actually stay awake until that night, then just like caffeinate or something. Like it's like
yeah.
it'll help by a lot. But
Story time.
yeah, go ahead.
Um, okay, well, she's not gonna leave us alone this episode. Um, but dude, I'm not gonna cry today. It's not happening. I cried the past 3 days over this story time. Yeah. So it was the second day of me being sick, having strep. Here where we live, it was icing and raining, and it's still raining, and it's not gonna stop raining for the next few days. But anyway, um, it was like 30 degrees outside, something 30, 30, 35. And I wake up at like 8 o'clock and I hear this noise outside my window, and I was like, what the heck is that? I was too scared to look, honestly, because I was like, if that's somebody trying to break into my window, I don't want to see them do it. I just want whatever it is, I'm just gonna prepare for it when it gets there. um, so then I fall back to sleep, and then I wake up at 9, and then I hear it again, like off and on. Wake up at 10, hear it again. And finally at 11, like I was off and on, the sick sleep, you're like half awake and half dawn. Um, so 11, I look outside and I see something. I didn't know what it was, but it was just a food can, and the food can was like banging up against our like HVAC unit outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what that is, until it moved and I saw the tail, and I was like, that's a cat. And I like I'm looking out the window and I'm just watching it, and I'm like, obviously it's stuck. Obviously it's been there for a few hours. And then my cat sees me looking at something, so then she jumps on the window, and then she's freaking out, and then Ollie comes in there, he's freaking out. He's like, "There's a cat outside the window." Um, so I go outside and I'm trying to help, like I'm trying to get close to it, but anytime it hears me move, it's just like, "Meow." And I'm like, okay, well, obviously this cat doesn't want me near it. So, actually, I don't think I told you this part of the story, because I kind of already told this to you, but, um, I, after 2 hours of trying and the like ice, the ice and the freezing cold rain, I was like, okay, I have to call somebody. And Kevin wasn't going to be home for another 5, 6 hours. So I called animal control. And I was like, I hope that they don't take this cat with them. Like, that was not my intention. I just needed it to be free. I just didn't want them to take it and, like, something happen and the cat not make it. So, um, I, I called the animal control lady. Or I called the non-emergency police department because they have an animal control there. And he was like, "What's your address? What's going on?" He was super sweet. And he's like, "Okay, I'll call the lady and I'll have her call you back and then she'll tell you how long it'll take to get out there." I answered the phone. I'm like, "Hello?" And she was like, "Hello?" I was like, "Hello?" And she was like, "Hello?" I'm like, "Can you hear me?" She's like, "Yeah, who is this?" I'm like, "This is my name's Lacey. I have a cat." And that's all I could spit out because I was so confused. And she's like, "Okay, and what's wrong with it?" And she's like, "Is it your cat?" And I said, "No." And I told her the situation, and she's like, "Okay, well, if you can't catch it, how can I?" I'm like, "I think that's your job. I don't know." Like, I
Yeah.
was so nervous. And then she was like, "Well, I guess I'll be out there, but there's nothing much I can do. It'll take me a minute to get back into town." I'm like, "Okay." So then she comes and she is super, like, she was nice in person, and she, like, had to use I don't know what they're called. They have like a rope and a
Yeah,
pole,
it's the
and yeah,
staff with the little loop
yeah,
thing on it, yeah.
yeah. So they had to use that, and she pulled the pulled the can off the cat's head, and I could just tell in the face that that cat was sick. Like, I wasn't gonna touch it. So I got some of my cat's food and I took it way out there where it was, like at a very back of the yard, and I gave it food. And it started raining harder at that point. So, and this cat had ran under somebody else's house. So I look outside about 30 minutes later and it's eating the food that I left out there. And I was like, okay, thank goodness. So when I scoop up more food and I leave it at our back door, that was my issue. That I shouldn't have done that. But I see the cat eating the food and I look out the window like I see it eating. Then I see another cat come up and also eat the food. This one was a black and white cat. And then I see them for an hour staring, like probably an hour, staring to each other's eyes and then fight. And then they would look at each other and then fight. I'm like, okay, well, they're just fighting over the food, so I'm just gonna put more
Yeah.
out there. And then the food, I never heard them come up to the back door, but the food's gone, so I'm sure that they did. And I'm probably not gonna keep putting more food out there because I haven't seen them in a minute, just because they're gonna always keep coming back, and that's gonna try more. And there's a lot of stray cats that our neighbors feed. So, um, yeah, but it was sad. I cried over it a lot because I actually saw my neighbor outside and he was like, "What's that? What's going on?" And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, it'll be fine. It's a cat. They're used to, like,
Yeah.
if that was my baby, like that my cat's outside and that happened, like if one of them got out, which hopefully never happens again, but if they get out and that was to happen to them, then I'd want somebody else to help them. Like, the I don't know. That's My cats are my best friends, and I couldn't imagine that being my cat. So I don't really see the whole being rude and just leaving it alone, and that's just a cat. Like, that it could be somebody's cat, but it's not just a cat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I mean, it's like I see what you're saying about it also, but I see his side a little bit too, where it's like sometimes nature is just that way, and it probably was
mhm,
already a stray, and if it was that
mhm,
sick, then it probably is already outside, and you can't help but to feel bad for it, but
yeah,
sometimes things just have to, because it's interesting, because like, It's like that's, I mean, not in the same way, but that's like how we found Pep. She was just a little puppy out in the middle of like at a car wash. And I'll say this, like, I love cats, but but it would like if it was a cat, I think I would have felt less bad because they know how to just survive. Cats just have a way of doing that. But since it was just this small little black dog and like was just like didn't see any other dogs, didn't see any dog parents, like that was weird because and then we had to come back. It was like because we had went over to Walmart to get it some food or whatever, and luckily the guy, the car wash owner or whatever, is who told us where it was, where it ended up. It went somewhere else. And so, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. Just like people's different perspectives on stray animals and like I don't know. I mean, it. Yeah, I hate it because it's like animal lovers, like we have it the hardest because we see an animal outside. It's like we want to take care of it. Sometimes it's like not the best, especially like obviously like sick animals. I think, and I think young people should know. Don't bring it in. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't because you just don't know what it's carrying. But if people are in a position to like get an animal treated, medicine, everything, then yeah, like make it your pet, I guess, or make it your outside cat. But it's just like, yeah, it's tricky sometimes with that, and like, yeah, I don't know, that's crazy. Like, but I mean, yeah, it's like, but at the end of the day, you were doing a what do you call it, good Samaritan thing by
An
like,
act of
it
service.
had its head stuck in something, and that's like totally different. That's totally different than just seeing it and it's fine outside. You'd probably just been like, oh, it could kind of be like an outside cat, but it was like it needed help. It's
Yeah.
similar to the feeling of like when they get stuck in trees and they're meowing. It's just like this weird, and that's like Selena was like a random cat we found out in some like in the woods, so it was just like it's crazy. But so yeah, I mean, we have a history of
Yeah.
it too, saving animals. So
Yeah. And I definitely would have brought it inside if it wasn't sick and if it
yeah,
wasn't for the fact that like my baby isn't fixed yet and then Ollie would have probably killed it if it tried
yeah,
to
because
start
there
something.
there comes a time where there's a line where it's like, okay, but
Yeah.
at the risk of my own animals,
Yeah.
not worth it. But I mean, he'll probably, you'll probably see him again, and he'll be just like,
Hmm.
just fine.
Yeah.
Spring rolls around, he's somehow just still alive and just like meow, like you
Yeah.
saved me that one time or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you seen him
Um,
since?
have I seen him since? Yeah, I saw him. Well, I saw him that all that day, but I haven't seen him since then. But I mean,
He might have moved on.
yeah, he might have
But
moved to the next can. I hope not,
like to
but
the next can to get stuck in again. He's like, I'm just so
yeah,
hungry. Like, I
yeah.
don't know.
Well,
It's
I
like
gave him plenty of
headbutting
food.
cans.
Yeah. So, and it was a big can too. It was like a oversized like chicken noodle soup can, like,
Poor guy.
and I don't know how he got stuck in that, but or I keep saying he. I don't even know if it was a he or a she, but um,
I don't know.
I don't.
Sometimes the backside, if you see those big
Yeah.
nuggets,
Yeah.
then I don't know. It might be
I
a girl
mean,
though.
I don't know if a girl's smart enough to get her head stuck in a can, but a guy,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you're probably right. I mean, dudes are weird. No, it just I don't know. And then sometimes like male cats don't even have that big of a sack, so it's like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's some of them do though. Like they
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah, I've seen Ollie. Mm, but yeah, that's my story time about why I cried for 3 days over a stray cat.
I mean, like it's yeah, like I said, it's tricky sometimes, like the situation. But you thought it through. You didn't just like you know, you jumped in, but you didn't go too far with it.
Yeah.
But like do you want to tell them about like just since we're talking about it, and do you want to tell them about like your cats getting out at your old apartment? I think it's a funny story, kind of. I just think it's
I
funny
have
because of how long they've been gone, and then they were just fine.
I have full permission to tell the story from the people in the story, by the way. Like I because I was gonna tell it on my TikTok and then I didn't. Um, so basically, we were staying with our friends for the weekend. We come back home, and we come back home at like noon. And our friends, let's call them M and H, because I don't really like want to, like you're
Yeah,
just
I get you.
you're gonna go Google them. Don't Google them. Anyway, I'm just joking, but um, yeah, they were our roommates. That M and H were our roommates that were living with us at the time, and we were staying with our friends like an hour away. And whenever we come back at noon, I see our front door to our apartment is cracked, and I was like, immediately my heart, like we lived upstairs, so we walk upstairs, we see the front door's cracked. My heart sank. I started hysterically crying. We walk around the apartment. Then I knock on M and H's door, and I was like, yeah, what? I was like,
Yeah, why is the
where's the,
door open? Like, what? Yeah.
yeah. And um, H was not in very good spirits about it. Now he realizes that, but he was like, I don't know, I swear I shut that door. I'm like, nope, it's open. And apparently, like, they were coming in late last night, and I guess, or late that night, and they didn't know, or didn't, I guess, didn't realize they didn't shut the door. But Angel and Ollie got out, and I cried. I posted them all over Facebook. We went looking for them in the dark. Like, we had a whole search party. We had you and Ryan and Ash and everybody else come over and all looking for them. And we never found them. We never found them. I was just kidding.
We never found
We,
them. No.
yeah, they, yeah, we were looking for, I think, like 3 days, honestly.
Yeah.
And and then somebody texted me and was like, "Hey, I live in the same apartment complex as you." They text me on Facebook. They're like, "I think I see Ollie in my front, in the parking lot."
Yeah, I remember. I think, and I don't know if I might be wrong, but I think I had came over to like look, but that was before you got that news. I don't
Yeah.
remember. So it was like I got this random call from you for like, because we had searched around the apartment, we searched around in the bushes, we searched like most of the apartment complex. We even searched the apartment complex across the road,
Hmm.
and nothing. And it's really hard because like there's so many options, like because they could just go upstairs and be hiding or be under something. Looked under cars, like we probably looked weird flashlights under cars, like. And I was worried about
I
flashlights
didn't
in
care.
people's. I was worried about flashlights in people's windows at the middle of the night, not necessarily. And
I
then
didn't think about
at
that.
some point, I think it was the next day that we looked during the daytime, because I specifically remember looking at the other apartment complex because we were just thinking. I mean, they probably crossed the road because cats can like get out and make it pretty far. I even thought about going and looking around like that Mexican restaurant down the street.
Hmm.
But anyway, like so you got. I think this was on like night 3 or something. You got that
Hmm.
random text. Or it might have even been the same night that we'd looked during the day. I just remember
Wait,
one specific time we looked during the day, just me and you.
it's
And yeah.
It was Valentine's Day whenever we got that. So it's been almost a year.
But you
But
got a text, and then I was just like,
yeah,
"All right, I'm coming back," or maybe I hadn't even been over there today. But either way, it
yeah,
was at night,
it was the
and
middle of the night, and they texted me, and I was like, "Are you serious?" So, Kevin and Em were sleeping. I said, H was about to leave to go get something or go do something. I don't remember, or maybe work, or I'm not sure. But I was like, somebody found Ollie, and he's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we went out to the front yard. I grabbed the food bowl, and it was Ollie. And I mean, it took us a minute to find him. Like, we were shaking the food bowl, but I knew the general
I
area,
think
like,
I
of
think you were on the
cars.
phone with me during that moment
Yeah,
too,
I
because I
was,
think you were
and I
staying
was
on the
like,
phone with me while looking, and then you were like, "I see him," and I
yeah,
was like, "What?" Because
yeah,
put in perspective, like Ollie doesn't. Angel's the one that comes around whenever she's recording. But
yeah,
Ollie is like very white and gray, so I mean there he is. There's the boy. He'd be seeable. That's what I was always wondering
yeah,
when we were looking at night. I'm like, why can't we spot Ollie anywhere? Because like he's kind of he's not as big as Sure, but like Sure has some white, but he would blend in the dark. And so yeah, it just Ollie is super bright, like or whatever. Then you said you saw him, and I was like, and this is when we lived closer, so like not even a 5 minute drive. And I just
Yeah.
like drove back, and I don't remember. I'm blurring on some of the events then. I think like I don't know if you
So
got him
Ollie,
outside at that point. I think I came
so
back and you had him inside because I remember him being
yeah.
inside and roaming around like, whoa, I haven't been here in a while. Like he's like brand new.
So um, Ollie, I like he just was rubbing up against my legs and he was eating, and I'm standing in the middle of our apartment parking lot, just looking around, and I'm like so hopefully nobody like hits me because I have no lights here, like,
Yeah.
and um so what was I? Oh yeah, I brought the cat carrier with
Oh yeah.
me because I was like, if I find him, I need to carry him back in this so he doesn't run off. So H had to leave, so he leaves, and I'm standing out there with my phone, the food bowl, Ollie, and the cat carrier, and trying to carry them all at once because I didn't want to leave anything in the road, but I also didn't want to walk away from Ollie. So I carried them all inside, and I wake Kevin up. I'm like, I found Ollie, and he was like, no way. So then Ollie is like roaming around, and we're happy. He goes back to bed. Kevin goes back to bed. He has work in a couple hours, and I call you. You come over, or you were already on the way over, I
Yeah.
think, and you come upstairs, and then we go look for Angel, and we're driving around, and we
Yeah.
didn't see her until we were almost done. Like we were about to turn around to go back. They're like, wait, I just saw something.
Because
And
when we're rolling back in, or I think it was like we're about to exit the front gate, driving, and then just like in the dark, in the corner of my eye, I just see something like, and it, in apartment complexes, and especially around here too, with our houses, like our houses, like we have a bunch of houses.
mm-hmm,
Our neighborhood, there's a lot of rabbits. So, and it's
mm-hmm,
just it's an Arkansas thing too. There's some rabbits a lot. So, and I mean, Angel could be mistaken for a rabbit. She has similar
yeah.
colors. So like corner of my eye, I just like see something like dash this way, and I think it was because it's interesting because that means she was like going to the gate, like I'm going. I don't think she knew what she was doing or going, and like they probably just patrolled around the fence a lot. But I just see something run this way as we're going this way. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a second. I swear I saw something, but don't get too excited. So I pulled around. I don't
You actually told
remember.
me you think it was a bunny.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I think it was a rabbit, but like, we might want to check on this because, I mean, it could easily be a cat. And I was thinking it might also be another cat. So I was just trying to, like, not have too much hope, but also, like, be hopeful.
I
So we
remember what you
pulled.
said to me still.
What?
Um, go ahead, and then I'll tell you.
No, I mean, like, but that, yeah,
So
we're in that
yeah,
part, so we might as well.
we pulled into the parking spot, and we get out. Like I got out of the car so fast, and I'm shaking the food bowl. She comes out under this van, and
Yeah,
I'm
there's that
like
big white van that's
crying.
always
Yeah, I
there.
was crying. And like she starts eating and she's meowing and stuff. And you just look at me. You look at her, you look at me. Wait, is that her? I'm like, yes, that's her. I wouldn't be crying
Yeah.
for nobody's cat.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Um,
and she definitely has. I don't know. She has her own kind of like, it's like the tiger
yeah,
stripe, like whatever. I don't even know what kind of cat Angel
yeah.
is.
And we
But
also hadn't
like
had her that long too.
yeah, and I
So,
just yeah, we like parked down. I'll call it downwind from where I saw her. So I saw an animal go this way, so we parked kind of further down and then walked along the grass. There's like a fence that you know
mm,
there's a fence around the whole apartment complex, but there's like a part of grass between that and the pavement, and so I literally like hear a meow, and so we stop, and it's just funny that that big white van that was always there is what she came out from under, and I think honestly, no matter who would have walked by, she would have been like meow, like like, but it just happened to
yeah,
be her mom, and like, and you're just like, oh my god, Angel, I found you and everything, and it was just so, it was very surreal because usually like when
yeah,
animals get out like that and you just start to kind of like, cause it had been a few days, it literally, so
yeah,
that means they literally were, it just blows my mind to this day, they were only hanging out in the around the parking lot, not even that far from your building, for like 2 nights, 3 nights, however long it was. That's crazy.
yeah.
Like,
Um, but I did not stop looking for them. Like I was constantly worried about it for days. Like my pets mean so much to me, and If they got out here, I don't know
Oh
what I
yeah,
would
because
do.
that was Super Bowl Sunday when you called and told me that it
Oh
happened.
yeah,
Like me,
yeah.
I
Wait, so
think we were
maybe
throwing away trash or something. We were parked in our apartment complex dumpster thing, because because this was the first, because like this year me and Ryan are doing something, but like Ashley's working, so last year she actually got to hang out with us. So she was driving and we were about to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. That's what it was, because we were gonna like start watching the game there, which is a pretty great like way to do it, like because everyone in there is super hyped or whatever. But and then you call and you're like upset and everything, and like the door was open and everything. I'm like, oh boy. And then so just like sitting there eating, but also like trying to text you like, so like where do we start? You know, kind of like I don't know. And so like yeah, that is crazy. That's crazy that you remembered so Valentine's Day nights when you found them both
hmm
officially.
yeah.
As Angel just is like right there, like
Yes,
yeah,
y'all saw
I'm.
Ollie. This is Angel. You don't get to see her because she doesn't stay still long enough. But
Yep, she was
say
the last
hi.
one we found. So you guys
Okay.
could you guys could see that like she would more blend in the dark. So when I saw
hmm
her running this way, it could have easily been a rabbit, but that's crazy. Like and literally, I'm not saying that oh we wouldn't have found her if I didn't spot her, but like it just like is weird how like she blends in the dark. I just see something move, and if I just wasn't even looking even near that direction, might not have because we were about to give up for the night.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
This week.
that's the story of Lacey losing her cats that she now still has, and like all you
Will it
know,
forever
there's a
have?
little bit more to the story. Like I don't know, like Ollie, the white and gray one, has stayed with us for a little while too, and he's kind
hmm
of like my like random every now and then nephew,
Yeah.
and like him and my cats don't really get. I mean, sure, and him started hanging out more, and there was never any
Yeah.
cuddle sessions, but he started like be able to eat with her on the counter with him. So, but
Yeah.
Sweet, no,
Um.
but
So Ollie is Kevin's cat. All so we actually drove a good ways to go get Ollie. Ollie came from England. That's where his parents are from. They were here doing like an internship with the college. Um,
the
so
viewers are gonna be like, "You drove to England? like,
no,
what do you mean?"
they were here, and
Yeah,
then we went and got them, and now they're back in England, and um, yeah. So Ollie, I like we he just adapted to us, like, and that was our first pet together. Angel was a kitten, like a very baby kitten, and I think her mother passed away or ran away or something too soon, so she was pretty much like she you know what I mean. She separated
yeah,
from her mom too soon, but she was also the runt of the litter. So Angel is a small cat. Like she's literally like maybe this big.
yeah.
Like she, um, but
Maybe
I don't
that
know
does.
if it's just
I don't know if you told me that. So maybe that does explain why
yeah,
she's so small.
yeah. She's always been small.
And
She
like
eats so
Peggy calls
much.
her littles, so like you know,
Yeah,
I always thought that I was like I mean she's a adult cat now. She's old enough to
yeah.
be an
She'll
adult
always
cat,
be
so
small.
she's like tiny. I never even thought of that. That's crazy to think about, like that maybe just that difference in time of not being able to get mother's milk maybe
hmm
went a long way in how she grew. That's interesting. So it makes me wonder how big she would have been if maybe not even that much more, but I think that does go a long way for like a cat to like that's weird because I would have thought like oh they would just grow up to look how they look no matter what, rather they got milk or
hmm
not. But it might actually have something to do with that. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, it does.
It's worth a
We
Google.
had yeah. Well, I've never shared this on the podcast, but like whenever I was younger, long story short, we got three female cats, and they all three got pregnant at the same time by stray cats. And then we thought that there was a period in time after they gave birth to the kittens that they couldn't get pregnant, and we were very wrong. So we actually ended up having six litters of cats. So we had a lot of experience with cats, with like raising like from kittens to adult cats, and if there's a runt of the litter, which means it's pretty much it's like a premature baby, pretty much like um it's gonna be smaller, and But I mean, she's healthy. She's a healthy cat, but she's just always going to be tiny. And I knew that when I got her. And to be honest, like, that's not the reason I got her, but I did like that she was going to be small forever because we have a big cat and we have a little cat and they just match.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if it's the fact that Ollie's a boy and Angel's a girl, but Angel is like my best friend and that's Kevin's best friend. He knows the sound of Kevin's alarm and it will go in the room whenever we wake or whenever Kevin's alarm wakes up to say hi. And Angel is always by me. She takes like if I'm in the shower or the bath, she's sitting on the toilet watching, waiting on me to get out. Um, yeah, like I don't know. Maybe it's just genders. Is that how sure and we are like with you and Ash? Like, do y'all have?
No. I guess Selena is standoffish to everyone.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
no, because Sure is definitely her baby. I mean, he's both, but like but Sure was in her life before I was, so it's kind of there's a bond. I feel like that is kind of. I'm not saying. I don't know. It's kind of tricky because Sure was basically like, what do you call it? Whatever you call mental health animals. It's like he never was that
Emotional
officially,
support animal.
but like yeah, it's like so I remember like because she would explain like I'm going to school for nursing and like he just lays on me while I study or whatever, and like he still lays on her now, but Pepper definitely causes chaos about that. I'm not saying that actually changed mental health babies or whatever, but like Pep is definitely goes a long way too because Ashley has admitted like, okay, cats are great, we love our cats, but like a dog joy is totally different. Like they actually have like expressions and like actually show joy. Like Sure's not coming up wagging his tail when we come home. He's just like, oh, they're back. Like I don't know. He just, but
Since we're talking about cats, I figured she might as well be here in the frame.
there you go.
Um, but
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. Like so, they
I
both
think it's
kind of
because
are.
Angel is
Yeah.
like crazy and knocks everything over, makes the biggest messes. I've tried weighted water bowls. I've tried like the automatic water thing. She knocks whatever over. It doesn't matter how like heavy it is to the ground or on the sink or like in the sink. She will make a mess with the water no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So she will sit there and take her paw and like scoop the water out onto the floor. Um, So I think that's why it's associated with my cat because Kevin doesn't want to deal with that. Ollie's perfect; it can never do wrong, so that's his cat.
Well,
No,
I
it's
mean,
like
and it's known that animals pick their owners. They never have technically two. They always have one that's like a
mhm,
for sure. So honestly, Selena's owner of what she views is kind of a mystery because I feel like she kind
mhm.
of loves us both.
um,
I feel like she attempts to cuddle up with me more than she does Ashley. So I don't know.
yeah,
Whenever before Pep, I always did view it as like Selena is mine and Sure is Ashley's, which is interesting because that's the opposite of your situation. So it's a gender
mhm.
swap.
I mean,
But
I love
like, but
both
I
of
always
them.
felt that way too because I always wanted like rather a because she's a tortoiseshell, but I call it it's like I always wanted a calico cat, so close enough.
Mhm.
And so they're very similar, but like I think calico has a lot more brown involved. But yeah, I always wanted one of those, and it's crazy that we found her, and I remember like just like I remember gasping when we saw her for the first time because Ashley was like she was just because I was just so like because I it's like I knew it's like and I knew that about Pepper too. As soon as I saw her, I knew she'd be ours. Like I was like, we have an apartment and we're not supposed to do this, but we're gonna gonna do it.
Yeah,
But with
same here.
Selena, it was like Ashley staying at her mom's, and so her mom had to approve of like that, and she was very sus about it. And then Ashley was like, "Watch this," like, and she's like just letting letting her mom hold Sweetie whenever we just found her outside. And so as soon as she got to kind of cuddle up with her or whatever, it was on after that. So if it wasn't for her mom saying yes, then we probably wouldn't be able to have her now. Because then we
I don't know if y'all
transitioned
see
from
this.
what? Oh yeah, they could see it.
Yeah, this is our nightly routine. She holds my hand close to her. If I try to pull my hand away, she does this. This
So
is her. Wait,
I think like
no, she's biting.
since we're like 20 minutes to an hour, I think just so we can go into it next time, we can actually have a target subject. If you want to talk about the family stuff next week, and for right now, I would just say let's use this time to express. I still don't know what to call it yet. Like our ending thoughts on sort of advice to others. So, what would yours be? Do you know?
Um,
Or do you need a minute to think?
I don't know. Yeah, Angel's okay.
Okay,
Um,
I'll say mine, and I think it kind of jumps off of like not to like steal your thunder a little bit, but like so, you went out of your way to help a helpless animal, and I think like no matter if that's for people, no matter if that's for animals, I think if we all, it's very cliche and maybe slightly cringe, but like if we all just like do a little thing to help others in some way, whether that's an animal, rather that's like it'll go a long way. People see that, and be inspired by that. And I think like
mhm.
it's like you helped in that situation, and you helped right. You could have done nothing, but you helped, and I think that little bit of kindness inspires other people. And I think like we should all do that, like get out of our own like negative heads and just like I'm not saying like you have to seek it out, like people that are listening, you don't have to like, oh, let me just go find a homeless guy to give $100 to. You don't have to do something like that, but like if you do, that's pretty amazing. So that's kind of my advice, is just like find that small little thing that's going to make a difference, because sometimes a small thing is a huge deal to other people, or to animals. Like I said, a cat stuck in a tree,
Mhm.
whatever, you be able to get it down. Fantastic, because I think we definitely need a lot more positivity.
Yeah.
She
Mine
looks like
would
a
just
bat
be,
right now. Her ears are like,
yeah, she's just wanted to join in. But I didn't expect this episode to be about cats, but I'm kind of glad it was because we love our
that's what
cats.
free flow does. Like we knew it was just
Um,
gonna be random conversation.
yeah, but mine would be is I'm not naming names on anybody, but I did tell a couple different people about the situation with the cats, and they're like, "But you were sick. Why'd you go outside?
It
Like
doesn't
it's just
matter.
a cat. It's just a cat. Like just
You're
leave the
already
cat
sick.
be."
Like it's like I'm already
Yeah,
sick. The cold ain't gonna make me that much sicker.
yeah. It's like just leave the cat be. If you have an opinion on something and you want to help a stray cat stuck in a can, then do it.
Yeah.
Don't like it's don't let other people judge your ability for loving cats. It's fine. Like I sometimes get embarrassed whenever they're like, "Do you have any animals?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have Angel," and then I can talk about her forever. Like I have Angel and Ollie, but Ollie is Kevin to talk about, and
I mean, if people get it, they get it. If they don't, then they just
yeah,
don't get it.
yeah.
And
They're like,
they don't
"Well,
have to get it. It's like
yeah,
and there's plenty of people that do get
yeah."
animal love, and that they're like, our
Mhm.
best friends.
Yeah, and I love my cats, and yeah, don't be embarrassed to love your cats or to help whoever's cats.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm probably gonna go to sleep.
I was like, I'm probably gonna go straight to bed after
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
We can wrap it up early. I don't have a problem with that. I think next
yeah.
time we can get into some juicy family related
I'll have more than
talks.
3 hours of sleep next
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. I think we're both just tired, and it's okay. And I think
Hmm.
like it's better to have like really meaningful conversations in a short amount of time than it is to have just kind of like filler kind of stuff that because
Hmm.
I mean, we kept talking like and I never worry about this with this, but can't speak. I never worry about that with this podcast, but like but I won't lie, I did go in today thinking like I hope Lacey has something because I don't. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
was the
But I
same.
knew, like, okay, something has happened in her week that's like I'm gonna bounce off of, and we can do that because I feel like
Yeah.
a lot more happens to you more often for some reason. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because you're young.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about some stuff. I want to talk about like I think people would be surprised on our age gap. I think people would actually be shocked on that one. So we can
How old
go
are
into
you?
that. Huh?
I
What?
said, how old are you? I said, how old are you?
31. And you
I'm
are.
19.
It's crazy that you're gonna be 20 though.
I'm gonna be
It's
20 in
crazy.
March. Do you know whose birthday's tomorrow?
Who's?
Summer turns 18 tomorrow.
Oh, I forgot she was born in January. Oh my gosh. Well,
18.
I
She's
mean,
not
if
listening to
she
this,
doesn't
but happy
mind,
birthday in 1 hour.
if, happy birthday in 1 hour. If like I'll have to try to. I don't know. Anyway, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But let's just say, guys, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to family, and it's been very. There's a you could write an entire Harry Potter book about just like It's funny because I got Ashley the Harry Potter books for Christmas, like it's the adult edition, and if you guys don't know it sounds like it's like talking about adult. What do you mean? No, there's not adult like sexual versions of Harry Potter out there, but
I was kind of confused for a minute.
there's this big it's this big cool box, and the box is amazing because the box itself she's gonna keep because it's like Hogwarts and stuff, but it's adult because it's like the art is it's a lot darker than it would be for kids, like so it just like it looks,
Oh.
but the colors of them it's super colorful. So each book, and I was looking at it, and it's like which is not Sorcerer's Stone with the book, it's Philosopher's Stone, and then all the books are like about like this, and then you get to Order of the Phoenix, and I'm like, why is this middle chapter thing so fat, and then like the very ending book I would have thought would have been massive because they split it into two movies. And it's actually just like a normal sized book. Like they're all pretty lengthy books, but honestly, the first one might be like super small. But I was like, why is Order of the Phoenix so fat? But she's genuinely gonna read them. Like she's a big reader. I mean, she's probably a bigger reader than she's ever been, and she always was a reader. And so she's like, yep, gonna eventually. Because we just watched all the movies, and so she was inspired by that. So during the week that she was gone, it's funny because the day she left is when it showed up. And I was just like, I told her, you've been having a surprise for you. But anyway, that's that, guys. We love you. Stay safe out there if you're having winter weather. A lot of rain and stuff around here, so just be careful out there. If you DoorDash, we'll talk about DoorDash at some point because we used to be DoorDashers. Please stay safe. Don't do anything. Don't go out of your way don't go out of your way too much. Things are sus. Let it be sus. Don't do anything. Don't risk anything. But we love you
And
guys, and we'll see you next time.
mhm.
Peace.
Peace.